George. I'm so alone. Oh, hey, it's episode 7 of Mind Bacon, which is pretty cool. We're chugging right along here at the Mind Bacon Studios. It's just a basement. And I just realized something. It's opening day for our Red Sox here in Boston. Also, I didn't just realize it because your boy's wearing his fucking Boston Red Sox jersey. This was a Christmas gift a couple years ago from my sister and brother-in-law. Thank you guys for the now meaningless jersey, because it's a Mookie Betts jersey, which is fine. We're all fine. It's fine. Dude, he's like one of my favorite guys. He's sick. He's just the coolest. I was watching him last night on the Dodgers, and he's still killing it. It was Giants at Dodgers. I didn't watch the whole game, but it was good. He was good. They also had Sideshow fucking Bob pitching for them. What's the guy's name? Something May. Dodgers. May. Dustin May. Look at this guy. Dude, the guy is sick. Dude, I love the hair. Dude, from the second I saw him for the first time, he's sick. He's a great pitcher too. But the hair. If you're a pitcher, you gotta have the hair that comes out of the hat like that. You gotta have a sick mane, I think, if you're pitching. 'Cause what's the point? You look sick, just like our boy Joe Kelly. My favorite, one of my favorite pitchers. I've got a bunch, but Joe Kelly, man. He cut his hair, but when he was on the Sox, he had that mane. Look at that. I mean, dude, that's a real pitcher. You gotta have the hair. You gotta have the mane. I was trying to grow mine mane out a little bit. Mine mane. But then like I just got it cut on Tuesday, and I'm like, just trim it. I'm just trying to keep it neat, but trim it because I'm also trying to grow it out. And then there goes all that hard work I've been working on for the last 2 months. Cut it too much. That's okay. She did a great job. It's just, I feel like I was wasting time then, growing my hair. Such a bitch. I am such a bitch. We have a really, really cool episode today. So not only is it opening day for the Red Sox, which is strange, but cool. It's strange, but also cool. Definitely strange, but also a little cool. It's strange, but cool. We've also got a really, really cool guest today. She's like one of my favorite artists. She's got a sick, nasty voice. I've always loved all of her stuff. Her name is Sarah Kendall. She goes by Llynks. I hope I'm saying that right. And we're going to be talking to her in a little bit, which is cool. So I just listened to her new album right before I started filming. It's so good. It's really cool. And It's just so her. It's right, all her style. It's everything that you'd want from her and more. Yeah, and that's the other thing about this podcast. I didn't want it to be a music review outlet, although I have my opinion. Everyone has an opinion, and the thing about the opinions is each to their own. There's no right answer. So I think it's always good to speak. I think it's always good to speak your opinion, like no matter what. I had this teacher in high school. He was very like opinionated. Am I saying that right? And that was like the first thing I noticed about him. The weird thing about that too, actually, is the first year first year of that high school. It was 10th grade. It was far away, and it was a boarding high school, but I didn't live there the first year. I commuted the first year, but so we actually got an apartment between my parents' house and the school. It's that far away. Just to commute, we got an apartment separate. And in that fucking apartment, I found out that I lived next door to my biology teacher. So he lived next door to me, and across the hall, my math teacher lived across from me. I think about that now, and I'm like, boy, that's awkward. And needless to say, I fucking lived at school the next year. I was like, I was staying on campus until like 8 or 9 o'clock at night anyway. Like my parents were picking me up at like 8 o'clock at night. And so we were just like, well, why don't you just live here? I'm like, okay. Coolest experience, by the way. Anyways, I digress. I'm very excited to talk to Sarah. I've always loved her voice, and always loved everything she's done, and it's great to see her back doing stuff again. And I can't wait to talk to her about the album. I know that's a big project. It's always a big thing to release an album. There's always cool stories that come with it, whether you have these songs that you've been working on for years and years, or maybe there's a song that it was, you had this deadline. Oh, I want to release the song, release the album in June, and I've got this new idea. Last minute, I want to add it. Just cool shit like that. So I'm really excited to get into that, and that's what today's episode is all about. But I think this is going to be a really cool chat because Sarah used to go to school close to me, actually. So we're both from Boston. Did she go to Berkeley? Just doing some quick stalking. I feel like she went to Berkeley. Yeah, she did. So she's a Berkeley cat. And yeah. So that's awesome. I wonder when she went to Berkeley. I'm going to ask her a lot of questions. Alrighty, well, we're going to take an ad break. We're going to talk about Anchor.fm because they are the sponsor. They're the way to go. It's the best way to start your podcast for free. I will talk more about that. And when we come back, we're going to be talking with Sarah, a.k.a. Llynks. So stay tuned. Oh, hey, have you heard of Anchor? Let me tell you why Anchor is the best and easiest platform to start your very own podcast on. First of all, it's free. Everybody loves free. If you don't, you're a stupid idiot. There are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. So they make it super easy. Anchor will also distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. So I wanted to say that I've been a fan for a while because I think it was like I want to say like 2016. Whenever you released that song with Kranken,
Yeah.
or however the fuck you say his name.
Yeah, I think, Kranken.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Grip has always been my
that
jam.
seems like so long ago, that whole like time of life. Yeah, that was a cool collaboration though. We did that like across he was in LA and I was in Boston at the time, and we just like send each other files.
Right. Which I've done many a time. That's like an interesting process. For sure. How do you think that went? Like, was it easy as like, did he send you something first, or did you already have that written, or did you write to his stuff?
So this is actually one of the only times I've ever done this, but he sent me a beat, and I just wrote over that beat. And it was like a lot fast, like it was very fast that way.
That's cool. And is what you heard at the time, was it pretty close to what came out to be like the final, like the Grip? Or yeah,
he made some minor changes to it, from my ears, and just like made it sound more finished, but the beat essentially was very similar to when I got it.
Right. Oh, that's beautiful. When it like, if it works, it works, and I love that.
Exactly.
And you recorded that from Boston, like at your place, like. Did you happen to get like a Berkeley room or something, or?
Yeah, it was. So my friend, that was wow. Okay, this was Berkeley, and my friend was helping me out, and we recorded at, I'm not going to remember the studio name, but we actually went to a different studio. I think he was interning there at the time or working there.
Yeah.
And he helped me record the vocals over there, and then we just sent it off to him.
Right. Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
This does sound easy. That's sick.
It was very, very fast, very easy. It was great. Yeah.
Good stuff. And then come now, present day, you released an album. When it was not that long ago, a couple weeks ago, something like that.
Yeah. July 10th, released it.
Awesome. And so I want to get into that. I mean, I'm not much of like an interviewer, so I always do these as like an open kind of like discussion. So I just listened to like the whole album like right before I filmed this, and it was sick. Obviously, it was really good. It had a really cool sound, and I'm bad with like names, so I had to like bring it up. But my favorite one was, I like Slow Burn and I like Purified.
Yeah, I feel like those are the closest to the Grip.
Oh, for sure, right. I totally thought that too. I was like, like, there's that sound for sure. And then there was a couple tunes where it just got right into it, and I was like, it was energetic, and it was really cool. And there was one song that kind of gave me like these old Skrillex vibes. I think it might have been, I don't know. It might have been either like, Doesn't Matter Anyway. It was later on the album. There was one that kind of had just that old.
Probably Doesn't Matter Anyway. Or probably Doesn't Matter Anyway. Yeah.
Right. And I thought that was so cool, and it just felt like nostalgic, and it just had these. I mean, the production is really cool and kind of different, and I was talking about it like a little bit before we hopped on the call, but just you don't really hear it like that nowadays. I don't feel like you got a really cool sound, and I think that's really cool.
Thank you. Yeah, I think our goal was to kind of make something left of center and unique in that sense. So I think, especially with something like Become the Root, that was just way out there. So, but that was the point. Like, that one is definitely going to be split between the middle. Like, people will either love that song or hate it, but that's all right. Like, I'm just happy that we were able to achieve something that was just like odd and like.
Yeah, there wasn't a bad moment. It just felt.
Thanks.
Yeah, and I'm so happy that I get to talk to you and everything, and you look great, by the way. I look like a fucking scum in my Red Sox jersey because It's opening
Whatever.
day.
I'm making it a point to get dressed. Because I wasn't, because I spend all day in the studio now, like my home studio. I don't go outside. So I was like, all right, I need to like have some semblance of a routine going, it just feels like I'm alive when I get dressed.
Right. No, I have the same thing. I totally get that. Which, by the way, how has your quarantine been? Has it been?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I ended up moving to Austin right before this whole thing happened.
Gotcha.
So I moved to a new city. I don't know anyone, my partner here and his family is here. So thank God, I'm living with someone. I was like, all right, I'm ready to like dive into this new city and see what it's all about. And then I was like, all right. And then work was obviously horrible.
Yep.
And I'm a freelancer anyways. So already work was hard. And then like, when all else failed, I was doing event work. And so all of that was canceled. Wow. So I had to really figure out how to make things work for me. So I started teaching online like lessons. Yep. So that has helped so much. And at the first half of quarantine was pretty rough. We were actually staying in an Airbnb and very small. It was hard for me to feel productive in any sense. And then we moved here like after a month and a half, and I've been pretty like consistent and working and just producing the next album.
That's sick.
Yeah, it definitely took a while like to get there, but now I feel like I'm in a pretty good routine, honestly.
Yeah.
So, what about you?
No, I think we're all like right there. Like I'm finally back in the swing of some of a routine, and I kind of went through a rough patch like right when COVID hit, and not just because of COVID, there was just other shit. And like you said, it's all like, I'm totally familiar with the freelancing, and there's always 1,000 side husles.
Always, yeah. Especially in New York. When I was in New York, it was horrible.
Oh yeah. When were you in New York? Because when did you graduate from Berkeley?
Yeah.
When was that?
2016.
Okay, right.
Yeah, and then I moved to New York right after, like in that fall.
Gotcha.
September, and then I was there for like 4 years, and then I moved here.
Yeah.
Early in February.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, so you snuck in right before COVID just like slammed us.
Yeah, it was really crazy because at that time it was just like, all right, I need to change. New York is very hard to, just have any sort of like comfortable living, so I was just like, okay, I'm just ready to try something new.
Right, which is already super scary, trying to like change up things, because I feel like for me, COVID, like I was forced into like this change, and so I mean either way change is scary, but so I mean that sounds really cool that you just branched out. You just said fuck it, like you felt like you needed this change, and you just did it.
Yeah. I've never felt like I've been rooted anywhere anyway. So like moving is easy for me, and we plan on moving again. I'm very impulsive, and I've not felt like, oh, this is home. Like I'm too much of a travel bug. Like I just want to.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. Moving is, so I had my own place for like a little bit, and then that changed, but that was like a big thing. I'm very like opposite in that way, where like I've very much been like a homebody, and moving is so strange to me. I'm just like, oh, you can do that? You can just like change whatever, but but yeah.
That makes sense. And we got rid of everything. Like that's what's made it very easy. Like I've kind of taken on this very minimalist like lifestyle, and in a lot of ways I think it's done a lot of good. Yeah. So it was easy to move. I had I had 2 suitcases, and I just like packed everything in there. And
there you go.
Yeah.
You gotta love it. So you went to high school like right near me.
Yeah, Algonquin.
Yeah.
That is crazy. Where did you go?
I went to like one private school, and then like 10th grade I went to this other private school, which was way better. It was so it was 10th to 12th grade, and that was more of like an arts. It was like a theater and music kind of school, and it was like a college prep thing, and because I I don't know. I was diagnosed with like these learning differences, and I just needed smaller classes, and that's what it was basically. And yeah, but I mean, I worked locally, so I met all friends from the town,
All
and
around.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then one of my good friends showed me like that song a while ago, and yeah, no, I fucking love that song, and it was so cool to hear that in the new music a little bit, and
Yeah.
obviously your voice just has that sound. I mean, it's got this kind of eerie like raspiness, and it's just so unique for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
But
Sometimes I feel like if there's anything like a lot of like building the atmosphere, I'm just getting into it now, the whole production, just like really just building things out of thin air.
yeah.
Yeah, I feel like like it's cool to have like one thing that stays amidst like the changing of sounds. Like I feel like I've really changed my sound, and
Yeah.
but that is like one thing that like the voice is the only thing that's kind of stayed the same.
Right, that's true. Yeah, because like I said, the production is very, very different. Obviously, how much of that is produced by you?
The album?
Yeah.
So the album I did not produce.
Okay, but you're starting to
Yeah.
get into a little bit of that stuff.
Yeah, well, I've already finished a single for like I basically started learning in October.
Oh, right.
And I was like, I want to do this too. It's important to me to, it was I had always wanted to do it. And then I was always telling myself I was like never going to be good enough, so I was like, fuck it, I'm going for it. So it was during the time you were recording. So I went to, I went to Sweet Rain Studios, and Justin Matthews produced it, and it was all done in Manhattan.
I think anybody can do it. Everybody has, I mean, creatively just sounds in their head that you can definitely. I mean, it's just like a software. It's just learning like a different language.
Exactly.
You can do it.
Once you start doing it, it's like, why did I tell myself I couldn't do this for so long?
Yeah.
It was just so intimidating. It was very intimidating software. And then once I learned it, I was like, I can do this. Anyone can do this as long as you just put the time in.
Absolutely. It's always like, even for me at first, I used Logic for the longest time, but then opening Ableton for the first time was like, I remember the very, very first time I opened it, and I was like, that's scary. That's scary. I closed it, or just whatever, I got rid of it. And then a month or two later, I was like, you know what? I'm sure it can't be that different. And then finally I, figured out, oh, it's not that much different than Logic, and because it all started with GarageBand. You use GarageBand, and then Logic's not that different, and then Ableton's not that different, and then at the same time they all kind of work the same, and so I get that all the time from singers that I work with, and they say the same thing, that we're always working together, and they say, I have something I'm trying to describe to you, but I can't, like, I feel like if I know the software better, that's going to help me like communicate my ideas and that. And then they usually end up like doing their own production stuff. And it's either that, or like you said, they'll have, some ideas, and, it's maybe our job to either beef it up or like mix it right or whatever. But
right.
Yeah, it's, I think just because we're in this new, I think computer music, I'm gonna call it that, it's still very new. In some way, like a lot of people, it's still, I have to explain it all the time to people, which is like incredible to me. It's which is cool, but I mean, we're just in this time where it's very accessible and everyone can kind of do it.
Exactly. It's like the only thing that's keeping me sane right now.
Yeah.
Like, having this room to just work in, and then just like that's keeping me motivated to like, okay, I'm gonna work on the next thing. I have all the tools, I have the time.
Yeah.
So I'm learning now.
Yep.
But I have to ask, what are between Ableton and Logic, what are the pros and cons, or what do you like better? Do you like Ableton better?
I do kind of like, and this is a tough question because they are kind of the same, and I do get a lot. Yeah, it's also younger me, like when I was like that age getting Ableton, like 17 or 18, and seeing guys like Skrillex and Diplo on it, I'm like, oh, that's cool. I want to be like them. What the fuck?
Right.
So it was a little bit of that, and then also just after using it for a little while, just the the user interface, I guess. But ever since then, it's been Ableton, and yeah, I think I had Ableton 9 for a while, and then my buddy actually just gave me 10. Like,
nice.
I was like,
that's so great.
Isn't that cool? So this is what happened.
Like, so expensive, like
I know. Well, it's still expensive to like upgrade too, which is bogus. But we were like working together on stuff, and he was like, "Oh, my project's in Ableton 10," and I was like, "Oh, I don't think it's gonna work with mine." And he was just like, "Let me just give it to you." I'm like, "Okay, I'm not gonna argue that." But so that's cool. So you're doing stuff in Logic.
Yeah, I'm doing everything in Logic. I'm nervous about translating it to like a live setting. You know, not that live music is happening, but you know, even a live stream, like I don't know, like I've heard that Ableton makes it quite easy to integrate it into like a live, you know, performance. There's like a performance mode or whatever. So I'm not sure. But so far, yeah, for what I'm doing, Logic has been awesome. Except the automating shit on Logic is really stressful, and I feel like it might be easier in Ableton. Like, I mean, just less like it's really easy to like make a mistake and like highlight something. It just, I don't know, maybe it's the version I have or something, but I wonder if it's easy or like a different. There's a different way to do it in Ableton. I think you just like kind of get smaller, right? It's like.
So basically, I mean, in that way, like you kind of, there's two views. So basically there is like, I forget exactly what it's called. There's the live view, and then there's like the work view. Yeah. And I'm always in like the work view, which looks like Logic. It looks like everything else. And I barely use the live screen actually. I feel like a lot of people who use the live screen are doing a lot of looping, and I don't really do looping. But that is great for like live, and anybody who does easy, quick looping, that's like the way to go.
I'm thinking like, do I just like mute the vocals and then just gotta like, and then mute a synth and just play the synth line or something?
Honestly, yeah. That's what I fucking do. So basically, I mean, and I've been like stripping it down and down more and more. Whether it's, and I mean, it depends on the song too, but yeah, I mean, that's another thing. When you write a song, do you ever think of the live aspect, or are you just writing it just because like this is a good song and this flows this way, or are you thinking of, oh, this would be sick live and this, I could do this live or whatever? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think of the live.
Right.
But I mean, I think of, you know, lyrics, like, I don't know. I want it to be impactful. But then again, you know, I am not focusing on live stuff right now.
Right.
But yeah.
You know?
I mean, I've only done one live session in quarantine. It's just been an acoustic session. So I just want to like get a little bit more advanced with.
Yeah. I've been doing a lot of acoustic stuff too. And I've been thinking about doing a live virtual like show. But you'd really have to.
It's really impressive when you see it run, like it done well.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. I've seen a couple good ones. And they're fun, and it's still very weird to like, I don't know, even watching sports with no audience is very weird. Just something about that is just so unnatural. I don't know, like the live shows with like no audience, or actually the dude Mark Rebelliot, if I'm saying his name right. Do you know that guy who like does the live looping and these crazy songs? He had like a drive-in concert. People like drove in, parked their cars, and you can still kind of hear, like he live streamed it. But
I've heard Twitch is like a cool platform to do this stuff on.
Absolutely.
But I've never done Twitch, but I really think I should look into it.
Same. I've never done anything on Twitch. I'd love to try it though, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I've heard it's a really good platform for that.
Yeah.
I guess you just have to install an OBS or whatever just to make sure, like, I don't know, the internal audio is like, I don't know. It's very, it's like there's a lot that can go wrong. So it's
Yeah,
yeah, I'd have to do
exactly.
like 1,000 test runs or whatever.
Right. That's the only thing. But it'd be cool. I mean, that's another thought. But like you said, I'm not really prepping or for live shows, which I usually always am, right? And I'm totally in this zone of like just
creating stuff.
I guess, yeah, just creating and virtually connecting and with people and just like mixing stuff and like the side hustles, like you said, I'm doing a bunch of that stuff and yeah, it's all, you know.
Yeah. What are you doing for like side hustles right now?
So there's a couple. So I'm also doing like online lessons. So there's a
Yeah.
couple for production,
Yeah.
and just other music ones, whether it's like piano or that's mainly it. And
Yeah.
you know, and
Mhm.
then the podcast is a side hustle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and just the quick jobs if someone wants to do like a remix or like just need something mixed and mastered, just like that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
that's
But
great. Yeah, just kind of like come as it goes or whatever.
yeah, right. I mean, so that's mainly it though. And then I am putting a lot of focus into the child stuff and
Good.
but yeah, so I don't know.
How
Um
do you like think about teaching piano lessons online? Because I'm doing the same thing, and it's
mhm.
like I don't know. It's been it's hard to teach piano.
It really is. It
Like I
really
can't
is.
see I can't see your hand position. I can't see anything. Like
Yeah. I can't really see you,
trying.
and then it's out of sync, and I'm like, okay, well, we're not
Yeah,
gonna play at the same
exactly.
time,
Yeah,
so
yeah. Sorry.
I don't know. I don't know. I have friends that are also teaching like vocal stuff on online too, and I'm like, that's tough.
Yeah, I teach voice too and
Oh wow.
songwriting. Yeah, but voice
Yeah.
is I feel is a lot easier to teach. Well, I don't know. It depends. It depends on what your
Right.
background is. But I don't know.
Right.
I found it much easier to teach voice than like piano. I don't
Right.
know.
Yeah. Don't you think that there's like with singing, there's a lot more feel than there is like theory. I mean, obviously with piano and guitar, there's a theory, but with vocals,
Yeah.
there's technique, but there's also like just feel. Like don't
Yeah, yeah,
yeah
exactly. So a lot of what I do is try to like teach them how to find like if they want to do a cover or whatever, it's like okay, let's figure out your interpretation of this
yeah
and figure out what you want to sound like. Because like the only reason people listen to covers if you put a spin on it, like
yeah
stuff like that, like kind of like figuring out what your like the vibe is for yourself. Yeah,
exactly
whereas piano, it's like I feel like it just gets boring really quickly because I just like we're showing a sheet music. I'm sharing the screen. And it's just like, okay, like, no, that wasn't correct. Like, I don't know.
yeah right. No, that's tough. I mean, um, yeah. What was I gonna say? I don't know. But yeah, that's good though that you're keeping up with that. That's hard.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
Yeah,
you too.
trying.
It's a hard time. Yeah. It's not like I'm making a lot. Like, trust, I'm not making like money, but
It's
I'm doing what I can.
yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah.
That's all it is. And and yeah, and just going back on the voice, I mean, that's absolutely the number one thing is finding your voice and
Yeah. Yeah, it's
but
so important. Like, and especially when you're just learning,
yeah,
like I feel like when I was just learning, I was like, okay, how do I sound like this person who's singing it? Like that must be the right way to do it. So yeah, I find it quite important to be like, no, like you don't want to just copy what this singer is doing.
yeah,
If
that's
you can play an instrument even better, because then that can like emphasize your version, like
yes,
piano or guitar, and just give it another interpretation to make it interesting.
definitely. Yeah, I used to do that actually. I used to be really into, I still am, but this band Great Big World, um
Heard of them?
yeah, they did that song Say Something.
Oh
So
yeah, they're
yeah,
huge.
yeah, right. So yeah, they I mean they blew up there and
Yeah.
and so obviously I mean it actually was about that song right when that song came out. I also saw them perform it on the AMAs or something. And at the time I was in high school and I was I was just imitating like his voice, and he has like
Right.
this very like, I don't know, like tenor, like, but high tenor. I don't know. He's got like
Yeah.
this really, so when I listen back to it, I'm like, man, that's not your voice.
I used to be so like sensitive about this stuff, and once I let my guard down like that, everything has just been a lot easier.
Yeah.
Because now I expect it. It's like, all right,
Right.
yeah, give it to me. You know, I don't.
Right.
I've heard it all.
I mean, people are all over the place in opinion and like,
Super subjective.
yeah, that is a big part of it. I remember when I first started producing, like ever, I had no idea what like mixing and mastering was at all.
Yeah.
I didn't really have a good grasp on like producing at all. I just did something in GarageBand or Logic, and I posted on like Reddit, which is probably like the worst fucking
Oh,
thing to
I've totally
do.
done that too. I've totally done that too. I got ripped apart. They were like, no.
Yeah, I don't know why. I guess that was maybe something that my friend brought up. It was like, oh, you can do Reddit or whatever. I've just like never done that again. I did it like the one time, and I wasn't that heartbroken, but I got ripped apart for sure.
Yeah.
Like you said.
Reddit is a place you're gonna get ripped. It's almost a comical, you know.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I was just like, all right.
I
Okay.
know. No, I thought the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. Someone said, I'll never forget. They said something like you should really like just step back and take a look at like and learn
Yeah.
like what even is mixing and mastering. I was like, yeah, you're right. I have no idea. Like
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
cool with
Because then
that.
you really just get in the face with everything you just
Yeah.
don't know. Especially when it comes to something as overwhelming as production, mix and mastering. They're all like separate. It's a lot of information.
Yeah,
to
it is.
learn.
Absolutely.
It's an never-ending process. Learn.
Yeah.
Better with that sort of thing.
I definitely have more fun producing over the mixing part and the mastering stuff. But
yeah, I've never tried to master anything, but yeah, the production is just when all the ideas are, it's exciting. You just get into this meditative state, and then mixing is like, okay, how do I like fucking actually make this sound? Like,
yeah. And because a lot of people don't do it themselves. Like I think that's really cool if you do it yourself. And because you can, hire other people, but like when you don't have a lot of money, you kind of have to teach yourself almost. Like that's what I mean. I just kind of, I was like, why isn't my thing as loud or something? I don't know. And then,
I'm still very new at mixing, and I like with this stuff, I'm probably like, I was like, I probably should hire somebody to mix this because I so don't know everything that goes into mixing, and it's quiet. Yeah. Like getting it mastered. Like, so I don't know. I'm still kind of going through that. I would like, at first I was like, I'm going to do this myself, I'm going to do it. And then I got feedback and I was like, fuck.
Yeah. Yeah. And even where I am, I've been doing what I feel like is pretty good mixing and mastering for like a while now. And with some stuff, I'm just like, I don't know. Should I just have someone else do this? Cause I can't, but I think if you can get by and, if it's loud enough, or if even, cause it's mostly going to be on Spotify. Spotify's already going to like crush it a little bit to match.
Yeah.
And, at the end of the day, it still like kind of surprises me. I'll listen to all different types of music, and everybody's got a different tone and sound, and whatever sounds good to you.
No, it's like, who's actually gonna like your everyday listener is not gonna tell the difference. Like they're not gonna. I mean, they can hear a mix, but like a master, like I don't know. Your average listener, I just like listening on these like AirPods are probably not gonna hear like all of this. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think there's one song like on my Spotify. If I go back and listen, there's always something I'm like, oh, that frequency.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody else ever has that, but
yeah, I've done that too.
Yeah, but I think you just have to kind of accept that like this song has that tone and it's gonna sound, I don't know. I'm getting super technical, but you know.
No, yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. Like I've looked at like I don't know, yeah, like some past stuff like under the Sarah Kendall stuff, and I was like, wait a minute, like I didn't even produce this, and I hear like wait, like it was when we were very very young, I was like I don't know 18, 19
Yeah.
or something. Like okay, this was clearly like we were kids and just trying it out, and there's a lot of stuff that I think that could be improved, obviously, like always.
Yeah.
So,
I think it comes down to like never being satisfied. I think that's like a good thing.
Yeah.
It's
never satisfied.
It's frustrating, but I think it's good.
That's for sure. You just have to like tame it sometimes.
Yeah.
I think it's really important, but I've let it get to me.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. It's and at the end of the day, it's weird to think about, but like obviously it's fun. I mean, it's why we do music and it's supposed to be fun, but there's always stuff that's going to be like, frustrating or heartbreaking and shit, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, there's always that. I find the marketing side like very heartbreaking.
I agree, because that is such a thing that's like, I don't know.
I hate it.
Yeah.
Fucking hate it. I'm horrible at marketing. Like, I don't know. How do you be good at that?
There is definitely it's hard to say that maybe there's a science to it, but
I think there is. There's a lot of like shit that goes into being a good marketer. That's why people go to like college for like 4 years for this, and then we're just like trying to do it ourselves. I don't know. Like
right.
I'm thinking about Facebook ads now because
Yeah.
I'm just like I don't know how to do the thing. Like I'm not. I don't know. And I'm just like trying to figure out that in itself, and it's just so much. There's so much that goes into it that you would just wouldn't know. I don't know. It's a lot.
So what's worked best for me is, I love doing music videos now, like more than I ever have, because visual is such a big thing if you're on social media. And so if I found if I do that and then put a little bit of money into it, it doesn't take much. You can kind of at least like just to at least reach the people that still takes like,
I know.
Isn't that annoying?
It's all set up for you to spend.
You gotta, just to kind of break the algorithm a little bit.
It's rough.
Yeah, that's why TikTok is so great, actually. There's
TikTok is great. I just like can't figure it out yet, though.
Yeah, what about it though? What exactly? Because I'm kind of in the same boat, but I'm curious like where you're at with it, because it's still so new and weird. And
and I think it. I feel like there's a lot of people that are blowing up because of it, and I'm definitely not. And I'm like trying to figure out how to like, I don't know, grow on it, but I
for sure
am definitely just not at all. So I'm just trying to figure out, what other musicians did to kind of do that and stuff. But I don't reach many people at all. And
I feel like it's still like a crapshoot for me too. And maybe like a good thing to do is like, because I should do this too, is to look at other musicians and see what they're doing, look at their page, I guess. But
I think the best way to organically grow, I mean, from what I know of, Instagram, you barely reach anybody anymore. Facebook, see you later, like unless you're paying for ads. I think watch time is the most important aspect of it, though.
Yeah, what is it? Say it again.
Watch time. I follow a lot of like growth on TikTok accounts, and they all say like, if anything, just make sure they watch the whole video. It's more important than likes, comments, or shares. So I have to start focusing on trying to keep people engaged.
Yeah, I guess just like shorter videos.
Yeah, shorter videos.
And I think another thing, I don't know if you know about Gary Vee or like follow him at all.
I do. I know about Gary Vee. Yeah.
So, because his shit, I don't even know if I follow him, but he pops up all the time, and he says like you got to be posting like 3 or 4 a day.
I know. Yeah, they all say that.
Yeah.
That's
a lot.
So much. Yeah, I feel like burnout would just be like happen so fast. Like I only post like 1 or 2.
Yeah, because like I would run out of sounds.
Yeah, exactly. When what you're promoting is your music.
True. That too.
Yeah, it's like, what do I do? Like, I don't know. You just have to maybe use your existing music and do stuff over it. That's what I might start trying to do.
Right. You could, I mean, I think it probably helps with the album, but even no matter what, you could probably just use the same song over and over again. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like with anything, if you try a bunch of different things and whatever works best.
Right.
I
Yeah,
guess.
I think that's the way to do it.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But it's all a crapshoot.
It is, yeah. It's like, I wish I wasn't thinking about this.
It's all a mind game, yeah.
I wasn't thinking about this.
Yeah, because you and I started talking about, I saw like a couple of your YouTube videos, and they're really well done, by the way.
Thank you.
And I think that's, you hit a lot of great topics about musicians and, like, you know, social media and all that stuff. That is very important. So how is that just another idea that came about that was like, oh, I think people should know about this, or
Yeah, no, so that first video that I had posted about all of this was that one where I was like, I started everything over at 26, and
yeah,
I was really at a low point at that when I filmed that video, and I was going through a lot of like shit about myself. Like, I was like borderline about to give up. Like, it was, I don't know, I just had a really rough week, and then it was almost like it was catharsis. I was just like, spilling out thoughts and thinking, like, how did I let myself get to this point where I'm like thinking about giving up, or how it's so crazy, like how our brain works and like the chemistry, and I'm just getting so low about like lack of growth or whatever, and like in my career. Not that I had like any like a real good like view on what growth meant. You know what I'm saying? Like, now I'm focusing more on like, I just want to make better music. I want to become a better producer. And when I start focusing on that and not, I want to have this many monthly listeners, I feel a lot happier, and I feel like I'm actually getting somewhere.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, because it's like, I can't control that. Like, I can promote it as much as I want, but at the end of the day, people are gonna know about you or not, like your music or not, and that's out of your control. Like, focus on just making better stuff.
Yeah.
Not like I don't know, but like growing as a musician.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, that's always been a thing, and I've had my moments where whatever it is, and if something has good numbers, I might post it and say, "Oh, this is so great," and
yeah, I do the same thing. I
that always brings up, the argument, do the numbers matter, which is such a good point, and like your videos are so like brutally honest, and so yeah, in a certain way, sure, it does. Like you said, it shows your growth, and but you shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. I think I've said this before. Like, it shouldn't be an excuse to give up. It's not like, it's, I that's another thing I heard a while ago is you hear so much good talent because it is so accessible. And you'll see people who are incredible and don't have that social media following because it's just something about the marketing isn't there, and that's not everything, right? So
it's like all the emphasis shouldn't just be on the one aspect of the big picture. Yeah, and also like those videos I did those videos because I wanted to find a video like that. Like, that's the kind of video I needed at that moment. I needed to hear somebody say, I started over at this age. I'm still pushing. I've been doing this for 7 years, when am I going to like find happiness or whatever? So I was like, I need to make one of these videos. So maybe someone who's going through it too will watch and say like, okay, yeah, I'm not going to give up either. Just push against all the odds, just keep trying.
Absolutely, because everybody's been through it at least once. And I say at least once because I feel like I've had to start over at least twice, maybe 3 times now. And
it's always just like
it
ebb and flow. It's never just like great all the time.
Yeah.
It's just like,
so absolutely. So and you're right. It's gonna happen to everybody, and to have something like that video is reassuring, and I think you just need a good reminder. Like at that point, if you get so in your head about shit, you just need a good reminder of, hey, like, just, you're doing your best.
Thank you so much. Yeah, like,
yeah,
you just need a break. You just need to like step away for a second. That's what I needed anyway. Because I was getting into these weird spirals that were not helping me in any shape or form.
Do you think you've had that moment like in quarantine yet, where you just maybe have been like locked inside too long, and you're like, okay, I need to like take a drive or something?
Absolutely, every day. Yeah, I go through that a lot. I can't, I know a lot of people can just kind of like work for hours and hours, but I'm not one of those people. I get really distracted, and I need to get up and like pet my cats or something. I don't know. Just like get out of this room.
Yes.
And
that's a tiny room you got there. It's
Sorry?
It's kind of a tiny room. Do you ever like, so that must be really easy to kind of feel, I don't know, a little bit.
It might look smaller than it is. It's actually not that small.
I think it probably does. I think I've seen like pictures on Instagram or whatever of your studio and stuff. So
yeah.
I think you've actually got a good size. I've got like, I don't know, I've got like a mix of like the couch podcast area and like the studio stuff over there, and I can kind of like, I have my synths and stuff. I've had a couple different setups now, but
that's good. That's great.
Yeah.
You can like in a new place.
Kind of, yeah. So, but I still go insane. I absolutely broke down yesterday because I said my ears. I need some fresh sound. I just need to.
Yeah, right. You need a break from the song and to get back. Yeah, to actually like hear what you're doing. Because I fall into that too. I'm just like, I've heard this so many times that I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. Like I'm making it worse.
I'm just like, oh my gosh. And maybe it's because I can't get my massages anymore, but I get stressed about that. Or I mean, there's a couple songs. I mean, there's always something, but I don't know.
Yeah, I feel that. I think a lot of us go through that.
Yeah,
like being confined.
But
doing the same thing day after day.
Right. Then there's the good stuff. I mean, the album is fantastic again, and you've got a fan in me. So you said you have a couple singles coming out soon, maybe. Yeah.
I'm excited to be able to say like, I produced this. And that's been, I know that might be like a small goal. I mean, for someone like you and stuff, but for me, it was always something that I felt like was very unachievable for myself. So I feel like I'm gonna like, I don't know, I'm proud in that sense to be able to say like, this is something, I made from scratch, and you can too if you're thinking that you can't. If like anyone was in the mindset that I was in when I was just like, I could never do that. I want it to be like something that someone can listen to and be like, oh, I can do that too. Even if it is later, I started later than most producers.
I think that's another obstacle for a lot of people is like the age.
Oh my God.
And putting deadlines on yourself. I feel like, did you do a video about that, or maybe we talked about it or something? I don't know. I feel like that's
very vocal about my age, because it's another one of those things where it's like, especially, I'm a woman, and a lot of like the industry is very, not kind towards older women, or, I'm not old, but like, the older you get, I don't know, there's a bias. And, so I'm very vocal about it because I kind of just want to own it and just want to say like, fuck it, I'm going to be, in a few years, I'm going to be 30, and like, we'll see where I am at that point. But, being 26 and starting, I started production at 25, so that's pretty, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people start when they're like teenagers or whatever.
For sure.
So I'm just going to be like, fuck it. Like, I'm going to do it. And then you can do it too. If you're 20, even older, just
Absolutely.
Go for it. Nothing is stopping you besides yourself. You just have to get out of your own way and stop doubting yourself.
Yes. Yeah, I one of my students is about my age, maybe a year older,
Yeah.
and he's like, you know what? I am just starting. I'm so new to all this, but I just want to kind of dive right in. And I'm like, dude,
That's
good for
good.
you. That's awesome. And I guess everybody has a different situation. I used to get really bogged down about that, and I'm 24 now, and even being 23, 22, I was always like, how are these kids like
Oh, absolutely.
17 and huge, and you know,
Yeah.
but I don't know who said it, but like someone just was just like, everybody has a different situation. Like it doesn't measure success, something cheesy, but like,
Yeah, it's so
yeah,
true. Like that's a very true quote. And I remember going through the same thing at your age too. I think it's something about your mid 20s when you really realize things. Like I realized a lot in my, like when I was 24 and 25, and I went through a lot of shit, and mentally.
yeah,
And in the, looking at my career and stuff, and realizing I'm not going to be one of those people that like has made it in their early 20s or whatever. Like my 20s are passing me by, like all that stuff.
yeah,
Um, and I've come to some sort of peace with it now, I feel like. And I think it happens when you're like, you come to peace with it. And like, I don't know, I found peace at 26. I'm not like, oh, I found peace, but like I still have my shit, obviously. But
yeah,
I don't know, I feel a little bit better about it once I've started to own it a little bit better. Like I used to be like, I missed my chance. I did it wrong, and I didn't get there when I was supposed to get there.
yeah. I'm super proud of you for getting over those obstacles, and doing this album is such a big thing. And that, coming back to that point of self-producing, that the next thing, that is huge. And
Yeah.
that's often something I don't think about, and I'm like, now that you mention it, yeah, that's
You
crazy
should
that
be
we can.
proud of yourself.
I
You should
guess,
be
yeah, let's go, baby.
no, but you should. Like that's how
Yeah,
like a lot of people like myself a few years ago were just like that is unattainable. It's like
yeah,
that is out of the question.
right.
And it makes me like it's very heartbreaking to know that I felt like that, and to like look at myself and be like, come on. Come
Yeah,
on.
yeah. I mean, um, I listened to it a little bit before, but just this morning I listened all the way through, and um,
Thank you for doing that.
oh,
That's really
absolutely. Well,
that's
it's
a
the
that's a commitment. Listening to a full album all the way through is like,
you gotta. It's like a movie to me,
yeah, it is. It is.
right. So, because it's been, I mean, I haven't done an album like for real. I haven't done like a real album ever, but I did like this album a long time ago that was like kind of like dumb, but um, a lot goes into that being like, you know, the 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 order of songs and
Yeah.
stuff that I totally am just thinking of now, being like there is a huge art form to the album that is really
Yeah.
important. So
Story.
that's
Yeah.
that's all the work that goes into that as well. So
Yeah. That's why like the next I'm like working on another album, and along with some standalone singles, but I want
right,
it to be a sci-fi album. So it's like the first time I'm really gonna be thinking about like really, really thinking about crafting a whole story for an album, and like really just take it piece by piece and make it be like I don't know, yeah, like it just you take you on a journey through
yeah,
this
that's
story that is
fantastic.
not human in a way.
That's very cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the goal.
I love it. That's awesome.
Thanks. What are you working on next? Are you?
Oh boy, yeah, that's a good question actually. It's mainly singles.
Yeah,
Um, so that seems to be going well so far, I think, and yeah, and maybe an EP. So just trying to get the right timing on the EP, I think. But
yeah. So like, how do you know at this point?
yeah,
Got the album. I was like, I don't know.
yeah, right. At a certain point, you just say fuck it, and
Yeah, yeah,
as long as you're proud of it, it is, it's your body of work. It's even like the new singles that are gonna come out. This is this is all me. That actually made me emotional one time when Dead Mouse was talking about that. Dead Mouse was talking about like one of his CDs. He just said, "Oh, I wanted to be able to just make something from scratch, make a CD, and then like hand it over and say, this is me."
Yeah, like this is like a tangible representation of who I am.
Isn't that sick?
Yeah, it's sick. Yeah.
So
yeah. Very cool to have a complete.
Yeah. Work. Even if it is
yeah.
produced by someone else, this is me. This is my baby.
Yeah, I totally feel you.
Because
I feel like I'm gonna feel even so much more when I do this next one, because it's like I being the producer as well. Just be like, this is.
Yeah, because you know that is how like the business works. If you are a singer, you do get a producer, so there's no shame in that. But it's really cool if you are able to produce that thing and
on all the roles. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm really pumped about it. It's something I'm really excited about.
That's what it's all about. Is the next thing and getting excited about the next thing is what it's all about.
Yeah. Right. What are your thoughts on like making music videos right now?
Oh,
like how is that happening like for you?
It's hard, but so the first music video I did during quarantine was my last single called Headache, and I didn't really have any ideas, and I knew that the videographer was from New Hampshire, and so when she said that, I said, oh, like maybe it could just be woodsy, like forest vibes, and that's COVID safe. We're outdoors.
Right, exactly.
We can social distance in this way. Like, it is weird, and I have this song called Shitty Party that is pretty much done, but I had this idea of a party with a lot of people that probably I'll have to do an animation instead or something. But yeah, and then the next one is also outdoors. It's just myself. I have a dancer, and she's amazing, and then the same videographer, and we're just gonna do something in Boston outside, and yeah, but
cool.
It is interesting.
Yeah,
I'm trying. It's very scary. Like at first, it's like, oh my god, like can I even? I remember like when COVID like really first hit, I did have a couple singles that I wanted music videos with, and I had filmed a little bit, but then it hit and life hit, and I just couldn't like whatever. And
yeah, I feel this. Yeah,
right. But yeah, it's just interesting. It's just like small, which is actually like usually like the way I do music videos anyways. It's just me and a couple people, and yeah, nothing crazy, but
yeah, that's cool. Yeah. I've been thinking about like, because it would be cool if I had some music videos done for the album and stuff. I only have one that I was completely self-done. Like I just, me and my partner, he just filmed me, and then I just like edited it and like colored it and was like, all right.
That's the way to do it.
But like having some legitimate music videos would be cool. I'm just like trying to figure out how do I even approach this right now, because my ideas are so like, I don't know, probably way too like high budget, and I would have to do this very low budget, so just like, all right, what am I gonna do?
Music videos are very cool, especially with like new Spotify features. Like they'll play visuals in the background of the song, and I think that's a cool way to go, and you can do it low budget and still do your thing. Yeah. But
cool.
Well, I don't want to take up any more of your time. This was an awesome chat, and I really, really appreciate you taking the time to vent with me, and
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and thank you for asking me to do this. This was really cool.
Yeah, of course. I'm gonna be jamming your stuff. You know that already.
Thank you.
But yeah,
check out like your music videos and stuff, and just check it all out.
For sure. Well, yeah, I appreciate it, and we'll have to chat again sometime soon.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. All right. I'll shoot you a text or something, all right?
Okay.
All right.
Have a good day.
All right, you too. We'll see you.
Bye.
Bye. cool. She's awesome. I wanted to. I should have had her plug her shit, but I should call her back. I'll link all of her stuff. Her name is Llynks. She's gonna be releasing a bunch of amazing music, it sounds like, and you can check her out on Spotify. And her Instagram is, wait for it, Llynks Music. LLYNKS Music. You should know how to spell music, I hope. She's such a kind soul and such a positive beam of light. I am not a wordsmith by any means, but especially like during a time like this, I think it's just, like I said, her videos are so honest and unique and just well done. So really proud of where she's at, and it's exciting stuff, and it's cool to have friends that I'm a fan of all my friends' stuff. So I'm gonna wrap it up there. That was Llynks. This has been Mind Bacon. I'm Chris Berry, and we'll see you next time. Go Sox! We're gonna kick the Orioles' ass, and stay positive, stay productive. Do your thing. Keep it silly. Love you.
Hey, child.